Good evening. This is BelGeode, and we are back with some Dovetail Games Flight School. All right, so the last time you saw me, I did my first look at Dovetail's Flight School, and I got to take a moment here just to kind of talk about Dovetail and their vision and so on and so forth. Now, I actually did take some video at Flight SimCon of the actual Dovetail discussion presentation slash discussion, I should say, where Stephen Hood discussed his vision for where he sees Dovetail taking the entire flight simulation franchise in the future, and I was pretty moved by it. More so by the fact that I actually got the chance to spend some time with some of the members of Dovetail, most notably Stephen Hood, of course, and of course Amy Sanjari, and I believe the gentleman's name was Nick, if I'm not too mistaken. And I actually got the chance to talk to them, kind of pick their brains a little bit about where they're going with this and what they foresee. Honestly, folks, I think they've won me over. I think it's more than just rhetoric. I think it's more than just, hey, I'm in front of a camera and let me just tell you what I think is going to happen because PR has cleared it. They actually gave me the impression that they're real people who do this as a hobby for fun, and in some special cases have actually taken it as far as to confront their fears and get into the flight simulation community as a way of expressing what they've really wanted to do in real life. So, yeah, they're real people, and I firmly believe that they have the best interests of the flight sim community in mind. And one of the things that I kept driving home to them was the fact that you really can't do it without us. I mean, it's been what, 10 years since anything's come out from Microsoft as far as FSX goes. We've been holding this community together, so if you alienate us, you may as well hang it up right there. And I think they realize that. So, with that having been said, today is June the 30th, 2016, and this aircraft, the Diamond DA42, is now available if you pre-ordered Flight School. Now, fear not, if you did not pre-order Dovetail Flight School, you will still get this sucker for free. However, you will get it on August 29th of this year. So it's right here, it's in my hangar, and Stephen did assure me that eventually this hangar was going to become interactive. Maybe we'll have it where it'll rotate around the aircraft, because I mean, this is a really beautiful picture. Would be nice if we can kind of touch it, so to speak. Alright, but what I'm going to do tonight, I am going to fly this little aircraft on a short hop around the Pittsburgh area. I'm going to try and keep this real. So Allie is not with me tonight. Sorry about that for those of you who really love Allie. I'm just going to get into it and figure out where we're going to go. So we are in the Diamond and we are here in Pennsylvania. This is my home airport, Allegheny County. This is Arnold Palmer Regional, otherwise known as Latrobe Airport. This is like the second major airport within the southwestern PA region. The most major one, of course, is K-Pitt, Pittsburgh International, which you've seen quite a few times with me flying just through FSX. Now, there is also Wheeling in, well, technically it's Wheeling, Ohio County, but really it's in West Virginia. Like if we were to zoom in, you see that big river that goes to the west and then to the south? That is the Ohio River. Right here is Pittsburgh, which is just northwest of Allegheny County. Of course, you can't see my mouse, you can just hear the sounds. But the Ohio River starts right in Pittsburgh and goes all the way west and down towards the bottom of your screen to the left. So we could, in theory, go to Wheeling, or we could go to Arnold Palmer. What I am choosing to do is I want to go west, young man. Go west. So we're going to start here. We're going to click on that. That's a left click, by the way. And let's see. I don't know which way the winds are blowing because honestly, I did not check AirNav to see what's going on. But I'm just going to create a flight plan real quick where I'm going to have us go over Cape Pitt. And then I'm going to have us go west over Miller P64, which is a grass strip somewhere in Beaver County. Or maybe it's Washington County. And then we'll go to Wellsburg. And we're going to land at Wheeling, Ohio County. Short flight. And let's see what it says. It says approximately 23-minute flight. Yeah, I can do that. I can do that. Now, I've never been in the Diamond DA42, so this is a completely new experience to me. But you see our flight plan. We're going to log it, and we're going to take off. Shift 3 will give you the GPS. Okay, that's good to know. That's not my flight plan, but that's very good to know. Now, if you know anything about flight school, it's going to start us off on the runway. That is one thing that I really do hope that they would change. And yes, I did in fact mention it to the representatives of Dovetail. It would be kind of nice to start on the ramp, figure out how to start this thing. Because honestly, if you're flying for real, if you're doing flight school for real, you're going to want to learn how to start this sucker. But it will put us on the runway unless they changed it, and I don't know about it yet. If that is the case, then we'll go through this as we need to. If not, we'll just simply hop into the plane and get going and see how this sucker flies. And it looks like we're on the runway. Okay, so here we are at Allegheny. And what runway are we on? Let me turn my camera around here. We are on runway 10. Okay, so that means the prevailing winds are out of the east. Let's go into the cockpit here. Okay, so are we not paused? We might be paused. Hold on. Let me click on the arrow here. Okay, now we're live. Beautiful thing about this aircraft, it's got the G1000. That's the Garmin G1000. And let me tell you how much I love the Garmin G1000. It's got everything that you ever need to see. So, let's go ahead and set the barometer here. Yeah, that looks about right. About 1,250 feet above sea level. And we can see our flight plan on the right hand side. Let me see. I might be able to turn the map on. Topography. There we go. Very nice. And remember, I'm not running any mods in this particular flight sim. This is exactly as it is. So let's take a quick look outside. Okay, so that's the right engine. Everything started up. It's the front view. All of a sudden I'm a white dude, but hey, I can deal with it. Actually, no, I'm a white girl. Well, there's some gender bending right there. This is, of course, what I would consider a light sport aircraft. I'm not 100% certain if you need to get a PPL to fly this sucker, but be that as it may, you have an idea of what it is that we're getting into. Alright, we'll keep it here. Go back into the cockpit, and let's brakes down and throttles up. And here we go. Brakes are off. I'm going to not contact the control tower because I did make Dovetail aware I am not a huge fan of the ATC. The voices need a little bit of work, and yes, I know that Amy Sanjari did do some of the voices, and while I do appreciate that, the AI voices, or what I'm referring to, they need a little bit of work. Alright, let's go ahead and rotate. We're up. We are up. more positive rate going here. Gear up. And I don't think we put out the flaps, but that's alright. Okay, so we are going out of West Mifflin, PA, which is where this airport is located. And all of a sudden my camera is just going nuts here. Wow. Not sure what they did, but yeah, about that. Might need to fix that. Let's do this. Shift O. Shift O. Alright, there we go. Alright, so we got Allegheny Airport off to our left, and we are going to be going off to the right. Now, I do not know if this particular aircraft has autopilot. I would assume since it has a G1000, it probably does. However, that is not going to be my concern right now. I am, however, going to want to get lined up with our course, and we'll head towards Cape Pitt. You can see the controlled airspace up ahead. Why are we drifting? We are drifting. There we go. Okay, we got it. So, our first stop is Cape Pitt. You saw that in my first look. We're not going to pause or do like a part 2. We're just going to pass that altogether. Now, my goal is to get up to about 2,500 feet. And I think I passed that. Okay, you know what? We'll bring it up to 3,000. Why not? Why the F not? There we go, 3,000. Okay. Come on down, baby. Come on down. Now, since this is a G1000, you can actually set a lot of the autopilot parameters for this. So, I'll be doing that momentarily here. This aircraft just seems to want to fly. I should probably pull back on the throttle here. So, we'll pull it back from max power to about 90%. Maybe we'll go up to 3,500 since obviously this thing wants to fly. Now, I haven't done any of the tutorials that come with this or any of the missions. I'm just getting up and flying, which honestly, if you are a veteran of flight sim, this is what you're going to want to do. Get in there. Just fly the hell out of this thing, just because. And I'm trying to fix my camera angle, except it is really sensitive here. Oh, listen to that. Oh, that's a beautiful thing. I like that. That is music to my ears. Thank you, Dovetail. Alright, let's get back in the cockpit. And we're still looking down. Why are we looking down? Shift O. Now, Shift O is what you pull up to do mouse look mode. So there we go. Alright, set that up. Okay, so now that we are heading roughly in the correct direction, let's start working that G1000 and see if we can get everything the way that we would like it so that we can flick on the autopilot for a second here. We're at 4,000, so I'm going to start pushing the nose down. You can see Pittsburgh Airport directly over my PFD. Or if you have no idea what a PFD is, look for where it says lights. You'll see landing, taxi position, and strobe. It's literally right above that. Alright, now, altitude. Let's see. Where are you? Altitude. Normally I'm pretty good with this stuff, but it's been a while since I've been in a G1000 equipped cockpit, so yeah. Alright, there we go. Altitude. Mouse over it. Well, let's keep the aircraft straight while we're at it. Okay, so we want this sucker set at 4,000. Let's go ahead and turn on the autopilot. Alright, autopilot is on. And we'll set up the GPS nav while we're at it. Okay, we'll set ourselves up for about 4,000. We're heading directly to Pittsburgh, and we should be on the path right about now. Throttle is currently set at about 90%, so as you can see, our airspeed is about 134, which is well within the limits of this aircraft. And let's see, what else can I set here? Traffic. Yeah, let's see if there's any traffic. Okay, there's one aircraft up ahead. Aircraft are pretty limited in this sim, but be that as it may, we still have something directly ahead of us here. No clue what it is, but we're going to work with it. Looks like it might be coming in on approach to Pittsburgh, which is fine. We're going to be hanging a left from Pittsburgh because we're heading towards West Virginia. In the meantime, let's see what we've got over here. Now, I'm not sure if the real aircraft is like this, but if that is the case, it doesn't look like there's a way to exit the aircraft from this side. What about the other side? I don't see a way to exit from that side, so I'm assuming maybe the exit is back there. I'm actually looking around to see if there are lines for where the door is. Wait, I think I found it. There it is. Okay, so the door is directly behind me. Like I said, I don't know too much about this aircraft, so this is all a new adventure. And of course, since I don't have a track IR for this particular sim, we're just going to go with what we go with. It doesn't look like I have the nav engaged, so let me see if I can do that real quick here. I don't have that equipped. Okay, well, here's how we fix that. We're going to set the heading to right about there, and we'll go heading hold. While we're at it, I should probably change our course vector. So let me see if I can do that real quick. There we go. Alright, so now that we are on course, let's go ahead and look outside. There we go. There is Cape Pitt, and here is our title shot. Actually, let's see if I can get something from another angle here. Yeah, right there looks good. Okay, so now we are going to want to make a left turn here, and I'm thinking about it. I'm probably going to take the topography off because it looks a little bit light. There we go. Alright, so we're going to need to change our heading. Thinking we need to head about 250, thereabouts. Might need to adjust that. Yeah, let's adjust that. From the looks of it, it looks like it's almost going to want us to go due west. So right now I'm just adjusting the heading knob until I get to where we need to be. Yeah, there we go. Let's head west. So once again, we have the Orbix generated scenery and a whole bunch of pine trees, which, yeah, Orbix, there's not that many pine trees in Pennsylvania. Just saying. Unless it's a Christmas tree farm. Alright, so we'll set our course up. Going due west. 270, very nice. And we're going to pass over a few smaller airports on our way to West Virginia. It should show up on the map, so you will be able to see that. We'll zoom out a little bit here. And you will see a line that's running from the upper left to about the middle right. That will be the border of Pennsylvania and West Virginia, as well as Pennsylvania and Ohio. You'll also see a little funky line that starts about right center and then works its way towards the left, meandering. That's following the Ohio River. That is the border of the state of West Virginia. So eventually we're going to be going over there, and then we'll follow our way in. The only interesting thing I can really tell you about Wheeling is there's a casino there that I've been to before, and I think I won like about $400 and then called it quits while I was ahead. But that has no bearing on our flight today. It's just useless information that I wanted to share with you. Alright, so we are about 21 minutes into our flight here, and everything's looking good. Let me get a greater glance at this aircraft here. Because like I said, I really don't know too much about it. It seems to be pretty straightforward. It actually looks more like a car rather than an aircraft. But yeah, everything seems pretty straightforward. We've got a stick in the center. We've got the trim wheel to the right. Let's see. Throttle is also to the right. That is the most unusual throttle setup I've ever seen, but let me just make sure that is. Okay. Basically, it's like a fighter pilot throttle control, except the fact that it's off to the right rather than off to the left, as most fighter pilots are used to. Okay, looks like we need to go to the left, so let's see. I'm going to take it down to about 210. See how well she handles. So far she's doing pretty good. Waiting for everything to line up. Okay, so we'll go back about 220. Because obviously we overshot that. Turn a little bit more. There we go. That should do it. That should do it. 230. Sounds about right. Okay, so once again, we will go outside. So yeah, that's an interesting pilot that they've got there. I know they said they had a new pilot model, but wasn't quite expecting that. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with her. It's just not what I was expecting. But there we go. There is the Diamond in the sky. It's actually kind of a sexy plane. It's got some nice curves to it, so I would say this was a pretty decent choice as far as the next aircraft for flight school. Now, if you're just starting out and you're doing flight school the way you should be doing flight school, going through all the lessons and whatnot, you probably won't get to this aircraft for a little while just yet. However, now you know what to look forward to, and I will tell you, she is extremely docile, and with all the modern bells and whistles, you really don't have to worry about anything when it comes to flying her. Alright, so we are about halfway to our destination here. I'm going to zoom out on that right MFD. Okay, so you can see where we are. When we passed that last airport, that was about the halfway point for our flight path. We really shouldn't take too long to get to our next waypoint, but then after that we've got to be thinking about coming into land and wheeling. Now for this, I will definitely want to talk to the ATC, even though I'm still not too pleased with how they sound. I'm sorry, Dovetail. I have to call it as it is. I just have to. You can do better. Alright, so there's the Ohio River up ahead with the border of West Virginia. West Virginia will be to the left of your screen. Ohio will be to your right. And we have officially crossed over the Pennsylvania border. So all this country you're looking at here, this is West Virginia. If you hear any dueling banjos in the background, it's not my fault. And let's get a little bit more airspeed here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull her up to full throttle and see just how much performance we can get out of this thing. I don't see too much in the way of engine gauges other than what's on the G1000, but I'm used to seeing that, and it looks like everything is still in the green. So as far as I'm concerned, that works. Just waiting to see how high our airspeed gets to. Right now we're at about 142 knots. Will we pass 150 is the real question. And that I cannot answer. But I do know that the airport that we're using as a marker is going to be just across the river in Ohio. Let me see if I can take a look at it from outside. Not quite seeing it. Let's zoom down a little here. Yeah, we might be too far off to see it. But suffice to say, Dovetail, you did get that right. This is pretty much what the Ohio River looks like, especially this time of year. So good on you for that. Now, if you could only talk to Orbix about those pine trees. Sorry, I'm going to keep harping on that. That's a big thing with me. Alright, let me zoom in on the MFD here. Okay, we are going to need to hang a left, so I'm going to cause the autopilot to go left a little here. Got some radio towers up ahead. We're not going to worry about that too much, but you can see off in the distance on the left hand side that is wheeling. We should be within range to contact the towers, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop our power to about 50% throttle, and let's see if we can call a tower. I want Wheeling, Ohio County, number 4. Tune the tower. Full stop. Wheeling Tower, Diamond November 42 Delta Alpha, 7 miles north to land.
Diamond November 42 Delta Alpha, Wheeling Tower, make left traffic at runway 3, altimeter 2992.
Okay, sounds good. Enter left downwind runway 3, Diamond 2 Delta Alpha. Alright, so runway 3 is going to be the opposite way from which we're facing. And we're probably going to want to come down, so I'm going to go ahead and turn off the altitude hold. We'll come down from 4,000 feet. Barometer is set. This is not one of the airports that I've flown to in real life, but I have an idea as to what the approach is, so we're basically going to follow the river until it makes that curve. When it makes that curve, we're going to turn to base leg, and then we're going to come in. But yeah, that is pretty much Wheeling Airport. And as I've stated before, just like everything else in this area, it's on a hill that has been flattened out to serve as the airport and runway. Now I have no idea what the landing speed, let alone the stall speed is on this, but I am very familiar with the G1000, so I'm basically going off of that as my guide as far as how low I can go speed-wise. And I have to say, so far she is handling really, really well. Alright, let me mouse over my lighting buttons to make sure they're all on. Landing lights, turn on a taxi lights, positioning lights, strobe lights, go outside. No lights. Okay, well clearly that's the opposite. Okay, so we'll go strobe lights, position lights, taxi lights, landing lights, go outside. No lights whatsoever. Okay, so I had it right the first time. New plane blues, folks. New plane blues. Alright, so we'll get everything on. Okay, where are we in relation to El Runway? Oh, crap. This thing's doing its thing again. Alright, you know what? Shift-O. We use mouse control here. There's more than one way to skin a mouse. Alright, so there's our airport. I'm going to drop our throttles down. Just above idle. Wheeling's looking good. We're going to take it downwind for a bit. And let's see, we are at what, 3,000? Yeah, just about 3,000. We'll bring it down to about 2,500, thereabouts. I believe that is pattern altitude for this airport.
Cleared to land runway 3.
Okay, thank you, British lady. We're just going to bring it down to about 2,500 here. Put the throttles to full idle.
Diamond 2 Delta Alpha. Acknowledge last transmission.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't acknowledge you. Cleared to land, runway 3, Diamond 2 Delta Alpha. Are you happy now? Better be. Okay, we are at flap speed, so flaps 1. Okay, we'll give it some throttle here. So the other beautiful thing about the G1000, it'll actually show you where everything is. Alright, I am going to go ahead and drop the gear. Gear is coming down. Flaps to notch 2. And there's our airport. Okay, so at this point we can pretty much pay attention to the G1000 to figure out where we're going to come in. Or we could do this number and do the Shift-O. Alright, there we go. We're at about 2,000 right now, so I'm going to keep it around this altitude here. Roughly. And I have to say, this weather is pretty much matching what's going on outside. It is that clear outside and that bright. Okay, something tells me we're going to get really close to stall speed on this sucker, so see if we can pull it up in speed here. What's our flap settings like? Flaps are at full. Okay, we're good to go. Here we go, folks. We're going to bring her in. Little bit steeper altitude, or I guess that would be angle of attack. Yep, there we go. Another Virginia cliff, or West Virginia cliff, that just happens to have a runway on top. This is pretty much par for the course for this neck of the woods. Here we go, runway 3. There's a little bit of crosswind here, but I think I can handle this. Alright, there we go. Drop the power back. Float our way down. Throttle to idle. Look at that. Just like that. We're down. The Diamond lands like a champ. As far as add-ons go, I would say Dovetail got it right on this one. The flight model is pretty decent, but bear in mind I've never flown this aircraft in real life. I'm just going based on what I've experienced in FSX. It's pretty easy to fly.
Delta Alpha, turn next taxiway.
Okay, I'll work on it, lady. I'll work on it. Let me hit the brakes here. Brakes! Okay, let's get off the runway.
Diamond.
Flaps up.
Delta Alpha, contact ground on 424775.
I'm sorry, did you say contact grind? I have no idea what you're talking about, but I got a dollar bill for you. Alright, let's put on a parking brake. Let's contact grind. 121.75 Diamond 2 Delta Alpha. See, that's the way an ATC voice is supposed to sound. Taxi to parking. Wheeling ground, Diamond, November 42 Delta Alpha, taxi to parking.
Diamond, November 42 Delta Alpha, taxi to general aviation parking, using taxiway Bravo, runway 3, runway 16.
And there is no space in between that. Okay, who did the editing on this? I'm sorry, but the proofreader and editor in me is going crazy. I'm seeing runway and 3 runway. That needs fixed. Taxiing to general aviation parking using taxiway Bravo, runway 3, runway 16. Diamond 2 Delta Alpha. Where in the hell am I going? Where are you guys taking me? Oh hell, you are not taking me all the way back there. No, that's not happening. How about I choose where I'm going to park and I choose right there? That's going to be a thing. So, we'll turn that off. Here we go. So there you have it. This is the brand new Diamond, the new add-on that everyone who pre-ordered Flight School will be getting free of charge. And if you did not pre-order Dovetail's Flight School, just remember, you will still get this free of charge. You just have to wait until August 29th. It flies really well, especially for someone coming into Flight Sim. This will be an excellent transition for you from the Piper Cub and the Piper Cherokee, I believe it is, that we get. This is a great way to get into twin-engine flight. Just remember, you've got 2 engines now, so there's more to worry about. But that having been said, for those of us who are veterans with the flight simming community, it's really not a bad aircraft to fly. It flies just as well, if not better, than some of the FSX aircraft that we've had over the years. So, if this gives us an example of what Dovetail is capable of, then I would say this is good. If this is an example of Dovetail basically buying out a third-party provider and utilizing their airplane, then I would say this is not so good. But be that as it may, we are here in West Virginia. So, on that note, I am going to call it quits. As soon as I can figure out how to turn off the damn engines. When in doubt, starve it of power. There's 1. There's 2. Avionics are off, electronics are off. And can we open the door? Oh, is that how that works? That's why there's no door. Okay then. Well, I think we're going to zoom in on our little girlfriend here, and I'm going to say thank you for watching. This has been BelGeode, and we've been flying Dovetail's Flight School with the brand new Diamond DA42. And I sincerely hope that you all enjoy this aircraft as much as I have just in this short flight. If you've enjoyed this video, feel free to give me a like. Don't forget to subscribe. That way you'll get notifications as to when I put these guys online. And I will talk to you really soon. Ciao!